Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from OnMSFT. Now, because remember, official switch. We're here to talk Microsoft here. With me, as always, is co-host Sean Ung. How you doing, Sean?
Doing great, thank you.
Did you survive Black Friday?
I did, because I did my shopping online instead of in the store.
So you didn't have to wrestle a Surface Hub away from somebody?
No, that would have been a nice Black Friday shopping item, though.
You get 40% off Surface Hub. Still out of my price range.
Yeah.
Well, those aren't on sale either anyway. But all right then. And how much shopping? Be honest, how much shopping did you do today at work?
Well, today at work, to be honest, I don't think I did any shopping. I'm trying to think. Did I buy anything? I browsed a little, but I didn't actually buy anything.
There you go. Cyber Monday.
Yes.
All over the news today, Cyber Monday. You know, some were calling it this weekend was Blank Friday.
Blank Friday? Why is that?
Yeah, because there were some areas here where people just didn't go out shopping on Black Friday.
Oh, really? Wow.
Which is amazingly a thing in the UK, despite the fact that they don't have Thanksgiving.
Wow.
But in any event, we'll get to that later. I guess we should dive right into the news. What do you think? We'll talk Microsoft 5.
It's the most recent thing that's on everyone's mind, so why not?
All right, and so Project Neon is the latest rumor regarding Microsoft, specifically Redstone 3. So Windows Central broke the, I'll say news, a report. Like, a rumor sounds so speculative. I'll go with report. So basically they're going to update, Microsoft's going to update the design language, and they're going to make some evolutionary steps in Windows 10. Again, the operating system, I'm assuming, is going to keep its name. They said it's the last one, so I'm sure that, I'm guessing that'll stick around.
I hope so.
But they are going to be updating that. So the current language, which is known as Microsoft Design Language 2, or MDL2, is that the current? Yeah, is that the current one? Well, and that and Metro are going to evolve into what's being called basically Metro 2.0. So there you go.
Yeah, I was still calling it Metro for the longest time.
So was I. Didn't know we dropped that name, but you know.
I think they got into some sort of lawsuit, and then they changed. I think they changed it to Modern UI, and then that didn't really stick. So I have no idea what it's called.
Basically, I view Windows 10 as a very modern design, but it's also a very minimalist design. We don't have screenshots or anything. There's no insider build of Project Neon in practice. So there's nothing to show you guys or talk about specific stuff. So I guess instead we wanted to talk a little bit about what we'd want to change or improve. I'll say improve, though obviously there'll be 3 changes to Windows 10. What are some tweaks that you'd want to see, Sean? Is there anything you definitely are screaming to change about the design language?
You know, I wish that they would not take a step back, but make Windows 10 a little bit more tablet friendly. Not making it like Windows 8.1, although Windows 8.1 was extremely tablet friendly. But I would say adding in some more touch elements, making things a little bit easier to use, with your fingers. I think that would be impressive. I love the animations. I love when things move fluidly. I love live tiles. I think those are awesome. I definitely love to see a lot more of those as well.
I don't know. I mean, one of the things I do like when you have a design that goes through an operating system is even when apps are nice, they still can feel like they're built by the same people. So if you use Tweet It on Windows Phone or Windows 10 or any Windows 10 Mobile or whatever, it looks modern. It feels Windows-esque.
Yes.
And so that's a big positive. So if you go, it's not just Groove and Maps and Photos and that sort of thing. It's a lot of these apps jump onto that design language and they say hamburger menu here, ellipsis menu there. That jump on the train, make it look similar. I've seen literally podcast, which used to be called Groove podcast, but I'm sure they had to, I'm almost positive they had to change it because,
Yeah.
they just copied Groove Music but made it a podcast client. I actually liked that because it felt like something I already liked and enjoyed. I didn't have to relearn it. So I guess that's fine. Apparently, according to what we do know, some of these from Windows Central, this from Windows Central, it says, source familiar with the matter has described Neon as very fluid, lots of motion, and nice transitions.
Oh,
so
I'm
there's
all for
that. Yeah. I don't really, like I said, there's no screenshots, so you can't digest this too much. But
yeah.
I like design languages. They make you feel at home. That's one of the reasons, to be honest, like the Facebook app feels so out of place on Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the features, but it doesn't look at all like it's designed for Windows 10.
Yeah. So one of the comments, Boltman said, pre-touch tech with Neon to relate to the HoloLens. I know Microsoft's been pushing 3D in Windows a lot, not just HoloLens and virtual reality, but actually on Windows 10 itself. Do you think we'll see a lot more 3D UI?
I don't know. I mean, we might. I just, like I said, I don't think there's a ton to touch on this. It's just more what we want to change what we do know about it.
Yeah.
I don't want any drastic changes for a few reasons. One of which is the app designers just managed to start making Windows 10 apps now.
Uh-huh.
I don't want it to be that different because the ones that never touch their app again, I want it to still look like it fits.
Yep. Well, as somebody in my previous workplace, everyone used MacBooks. And as somebody who used a MacBook for a short season, I did appreciate how they stuck to their one OS X, right? And there were different versions of it, which I think is what Windows 10 is trying to do. And it all had the same design language that kind of carried through. There were no, year after year, there was not really a major shift. So, I definitely like to see that. I like to see small improvements that kind of keep to the core Windows 10 what it feels like, but making things a little bit better each time. I think that'd be cool.
What are we going to do when wire icons aren't modern anymore and they're classic?
Wire icon? What do you mean by wire icons?
So if you go if you look at your system tray right now, I have quiet hours on.
Okay.
And all it is like a square or a rectangle with a little crescent moon.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of detail. It's purposely meant to look I'd call them wire, because they're wire thin outlines of different things. Yeah. And that's considered modern. That's part of obviously it's not the only thing, but there's certain aspects and elements that people consider modern. It's lightweight, it looks fresh, it looks what happens when that's 15 years old? Is that called classic now?
I don't know. I was thinking about that, the way we've been going to just squares and solid colors and really simplistic icons. I can imagine people 20 years ago who designed those really realistic looking icons for Windows Vista and stuff, doing face palms. I put all that work into those icons, and really people just wanted these really cartoony, simple looking things. This is right? It's
funny because I remember I think it was the recycle bin. Got updated on Windows 10 and people were nuts about the recycle bin. But that was on the desktop icon. That wasn't the system tray or the tray over in the notifications area. So it's kind of funny to see how people like different things in different areas.
Yeah. I think that the design language will change. I feel like it's very specific. I don't think it's so simple that it could be timeless, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
We will have to see. Well, they'll add things as they go. Somebody's making a lot of money designing these things, and I wonder what's going to happen when they say, "I'm done." It's I've seen those posts, and they'll say, "They made a macro to do their entire job." Yeah. It's don't tell the boss.
Wow. Hey, it's all about automation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Oh, all right. Well, Sean, there's been a video that came out about the Microsoft Band 2 appearing in I'll say new color, but we can't actually buy it.
It looked legitimate. It looked like the real deal. Of course, anyone can make anything, so it could be fake, but it was cool still just seeing it.
Yeah, we'd already seen. It's one of these. We've seen employees wearing white Microsoft bands.
Yeah. I think
apparently we've seen them seeing Microsoft Band 3s running around. Who knows?
Yeah, the one that I saw Panos wearing on one of the videos, they did a video tour of the Surface Lab that was posted online a couple months ago, and it was like gray, and I think that was supposed to be the Band 3. It didn't look like the one in the most recent video that you and I are talking about. So it's pretty cool. I do like the white color, the white and the gold. It was like slightly goldish, right? The actual metal of it. I think that was pretty cool. It's
I get jealous. I just get jealous.
At unreleased products that you never get to see or have.
Well, we did a whole episode on unreleased products that we don't get to buy. We did a whole episode on there's probably some Microsoft employee, because it was like a tech whiz, just like brilliant genius, and it was like they got all these job offers from all these engineering firms. Elon Musk is handwriting him letters, and he's like, no, I'm gonna work for Microsoft just so I can buy so I can own all these devices. And he's over there syncing his Microsoft Band 3 and his white Microsoft Band 2 to a Surface Mini.
Yep. And all the products that we probably never even heard about, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, these are the ones that leaked. Imagine the ones that didn't leak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was good. I like that. It's funny how people are attracted to the black models and then the white models, right? And I think the iPhone and the iPad was the first to do that, where it was black and then they released the white, and it was like this big thing, and it's just a different color, but for some reason people like it feels different for some reason. I don't even know why.
Now, Sean, do you want a Microsoft Band in rose gold?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of rose gold, to be honest. And in fact, even gold, I really love silver, like shiny silver. I really dig that. I'm not so much of a gold person.
I'm a white, black, and gunmetal. I like this color. It's nice. We almost got a gold version of this phone.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is an Android phone.
Ah.
I don't know. My Windows stuff, I got a wood back and an orange back. I liked the fluorescent orange of the Nokia for a while, and the Lumias after, but after a while, it's just kind of like.
Yeah. How do you like the wood?
I think it looks real smart when you have a wood back. I have a tablet with a fake wood skin, and I have a phone with a fake wood back. I think it looks real nice.
Very cool.
How about you? Do you not like that look?
No, I've actually wanted it, but I just haven't been able to justify. Usually there's like an extra cost to like upgrade to wood or something. So far I've been like, well, I'll just buy the cheap case on Amazon.
Looks wise, I was a real sucker for the Nuance Neo. That was the Japanese. I think it was Japanese. It's a phone that had like the top half and bottom half were two separate snap-offable pieces.
Oh, really? Okay.
And you could rotate all sorts, so you could get like wood or tile. They're really focused on the aesthetic to it. But it ran Windows 10 Mobile. I want to say they had like a Kickstarter or something, or some sort of fundraising. I don't think they reached their goal. I'm not positive, but it looked really sleek because you could have tile. There was one of a suede, I think, or some sort of velvety feel.
Nice.
And you could interchange the top and the bottom. So I like design. I mean, I want more things. I mean, the more options, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the original iPods when it was, oh man, look, the iPod or the iPad Nano, oh, it comes in all these different colors. I mean, people like personalized stuff. You're never going to put a case on a Microsoft Band. So I think having a white one, a black one, I'd just break out all the colors as far as I'm concerned, except for the fact that they're not making it anymore and they won't make any colors. But if you are going to make stuff, I'm all for color. Look at the NFL. I think you can get like Surface skins for your. Do you have one of? I don't know if you have one of those Seahawks skin or anything like that.
No, you mean the big blue case?
No, not the ones that the NFL uses. It's like a custom keyboard type cover with the NFL logo on the back.
No, I'm not a big enough football fan to need one of those.
Oh yeah, I might get that someday if I ever upgrade to a Surface that has that keyboard. So
yeah, I would.
Yeah, I think the more options, the better.
Yeah, I would get a Surface keyboard that's got like a wood back or something like that. I'd be pretty interested in that.
You know what else I'm a sucker for, Sean?
What?
Carbon fiber.
Ooh, I do like carbon fiber.
I'm a real sucker for like a carbon fiber skin on just about anything. Even if it's not actually made of carbon fiber, just the look of carbon fiber.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
modern. You talk about design language, Sean? Carbon fiber. Very modern.
Yep, I like
You
that.
hit that future just right.
Well, so Xbox started doing their customizable Xbox controllers, and
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Motorola for a while they came out with all these million different ways you could customize your phone. Surface started to go into it a little bit, with the NFL cases. Then they came out with their designer type cover that's like a gray.
Oh, and that thing was so lush.
Yeah, and in that same video that Panos was wearing the Band 3, he also showed a leather Surface type cover. He actually showed them how they sliced the leather in half. And again, that's just a public video. So when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, I think leather would be nice. So,
it's kind of sad when I like design options there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You brought up, I'm going to change the order here if that's okay. You brought up the controller, the customizable controllers.
Yeah.
You know what those would be? Those would be a perfect stocking stuffer or Christmas gift.
Yes.
Stocking stuffer in size from a Christmas gift prior Hanukkah holiday, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
A full gift in price, though, because they're a bit pricey in my book. But stocking stuffers for me are a bit, cheaper. But
yeah.
You fit that one.
In our house, the stocking stuffer has to be under $20 total.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is in price, it's more of a gift because they're at least $50. So I don't know. So it is Black Friday, and there are a lot of Microsoft things that are on sale and that type of thing. Are there any Black Friday deals that caught your eyes when it comes to tech?
No, not really. I would say that some of the Surface prices were pretty good actually. And if I were on the fence for buying a Surface, I would say that would be something that would trigger me to buy one. But yeah, I saw some good deals, but nothing that I needed particularly. I did. There were some nice game deals. I did get one game at least, so it's yeah.
You know what happened last night? I got a message last night from my dad, and I love my dad to death. He's one of my best friends. But he's not what I would consider a gamer.
Oh, right.
And my dad messaged me last night, and he goes, "What game console do you have?" And I said, "I have an Xbox One." And why? And he goes, "Well, I'm thinking about getting a console." And I'm thinking here to myself, I love my dad. And he goes, "But we want a game, but we don't want any blood and guts," which is fine. I'm not a huge blood and gut. I don't want like chainsaws to zombies. That's not my thing either. And I'm thinking here, if you're looking for a video game, what kind of game would you want to even play? So we were thinking, I said, well, he's into sports, some Madden's there, and there's Forza racing games. We used to play those when I was a kid. And then he says, well, how about Minecraft? And it's so cool. It's so cool. It definitely caught me off guard. But it's so cool that, like, my dad, who, I'm 27, so, I mean, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And he's messaging me, and he said, oh, well, maybe we could play Minecraft together over Xbox across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh.
I mean, how cool is it that video games could bring people from, obviously my dad, so I'd play, pickup sticks with him, but, it's just really cool that video games can bring people together. So, this holiday season, we might be looking into I might be looking into Minecraft or that. I've never played Minecraft before. Have you?
I have not. I did one video that everyone asked me to do on YouTube to review how Minecraft would run on the Surface 3. And I did. I downloaded it, the trial. I did it, and everyone loved it. But I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like walking around in a blocky world. So no, not really. I don't know.
I've never played Minecraft. I don't know why it's appealing. I'm not going to say I know why it isn't appealing though. I mean, so many people play it. It must be fun.
Yeah.
It just I've never played it.
I need to give Minecraft maybe like a good 5 to 10 hours just to at least see what the hype is about and judge whether or not like it's worth my time.
Well, I thought, Black Friday deals and holiday sales and all that stuff. I mean, I might be looking into some, maybe we have the Xbox One now, use it mostly as a media device. Maybe I'll look into some way to make it more of a family affair. We only have one controller at the moment, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I might get a second controller.
You need
maybe
at
get
least
some I
two.
can play with my dad. What was that?
You need at least 2 controllers.
Well, currently, I don't think my wife would play. Oh, she probably would play Madden with me if we got a second controller, so.
That's awesome.
Well, probably more pressing news than our shopping list for people is we have some more rumors about the Are we going to talk about this every week? I feel like we're going to talk about this every week.
the ever-elusive Surface phone? Is that right?
I feel like what we're going to talk about every week is devices that weren't released and the Surface phone.
That might
and
never
probably
be
how I
released.
actually like Android. That's probably what we're actually talking about every podcast. So you can just put that in a loop, put up some timestamps, call it a day.
Yep, that's right. Well, I think the reason why this week it got some attention is because Satya Nadella himself was on record for claiming something about the ultimate phone device, right? So that kind of perked up a lot of people's ears. But again...
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we all know this is coming. Like, It's not like it's exactly new, but yeah, ultimate mobile device is the quote. I don't know what that would be. But there's that. Anyway, so let me go through some of the rumors here. Windows 10, let's see here. Hold on a sec. I got a full bullet point. Here's a look at the rumored Surface phone technical spec. I don't even know. These could be 100% true. These could be 0% true. Let's see. They're running Snapdragon 835 and support Quick Charge 4.0. That's about what we would expect. Windows 10 mobile architecture on them is already 64-bit, and one of them has 6 gigabytes of RAM. That would mean that they've upped how much RAM Windows 10 mobile can use. 6 gigabytes RAM can already run x86 apps in Continuum, which would be incredible if that was accurate. Could be the ARM64 implementation. Let's see. Since the sources, however, tell us that Protos can't run x86 apps by themselves yet, but can install them. So, I mean, so there's that. One Proto 6 are already running in Continuum. I don't know what that. Those kind of seem to contradict themselves. Anyway, the earlier reported laptop accessory is still a thing. We can hear Microsoft seriously pursuing a 3-in-1 form factor, which is what we already talked about. And HP is already doing. There's another Proto with less RAM, with only 4 gigabytes of RAM. I'm just going through here, and display size 5.5. So, and it's QHD display. You can read all the things there. I was reading the full bullet points. I just want to, but that'd be a great phone. I don't exactly see how it would fix everything, but I guess it would be good because it has x86. We talked about that last week, I think.
Yeah. If the Surface phone is released and it's just another Windows phone, like another HP Windows phone or another Nokia, however you say it, I don't know. I think I'd be a little disappointed, even if it has better specs and is more powerful. I feel like there needs to be something that makes it stand out. So I'm really hoping, because the Surface is such a strong brand, I feel like they need to do something mind-blowing with it, right?
I would say, though, in the past, Surface devices have been very close to the vest. Mm-hmm. The Surface Book, there were some people who talked about the possibility of a Surface Book before. The Surface Hub, we knew about an all-in-one, but I don't think we all knew all the details. So I wouldn't be surprised even if we had the hardware specs, or even if something was leaked in terms of size and Snapdragon and all, and then even if that was all accurate, I still think there would be 1 or 2 or 3 extra surprises built in there. I'm not trying to brush over x86 virtualization or whatever form. If that happens, I think it will be a big deal. But I just, I'm expecting a surprise that won't be leaked until the day it's announced. That'll be what we find out.
Microsoft, wow, how are they so good at keeping all their secrets so tight?
Well, they're not. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of Microsoft's secrets are out there. But I'm just saying the Surface team has usually managed to keep 1 or 2 or 3 little things.
Yeah.
There's an all-in-one coming, but I don't think anyone reported this hinge. I don't think anyone reported. I think the dial was leaked before, but I don't think we were sure about how it would be implemented. So, I mean, the secrets, they come out, but there's still enough detail left where it's worth watching the keynote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Apple, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Android phones, the Nexus phones, for example, and Apple devices, I mean, images get leaked of the actual devices all the time, right? But Microsoft's at least, maybe not the details of the device, but they're at least good about keeping images offline.
Yeah. No, I mean, it helps our business when leaks happen, though. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's true.
I want enough leaks to keep business going, but then enough on the keynote. So that's exactly what we have now. I'm all for it.
That's perfect. You're right. What's
Oh,
next?
well, do you want to move on to your speech recognition story there then?
Yeah, so I was really surprised, and I've always wondered about this because I admit I have a hard time hearing people. Sometimes I'll ask for a repetition 3 times when somebody's saying something, and after the third time, I still don't get it. Then I pretend like I understood what they're saying. So I've always wondered, like, how much better are phones at recognizing, or worse at recognizing what people say than humans. And this article came out, which was super interesting, that said Microsoft's voice recognition services, such as Cortana, for example, is actually as accurate, if not slightly more accurate, than professional human interpreters. So I guess professional human, let me look at some of the numbers here. Human interpreters can have an error rate of about 6.3%. So 6.3% of everything they hear, they mishear it, and it's actually the wrong thing. Whereas Microsoft's voice recognition was only 5.9%. So very close, so about roughly 6%. So I was really surprised to hear that. So when you talk into your phone, your Windows phone, or Cortana on your PC or your Xbox, well, maybe Xbox is different, but
Well, it's technically running Cortana. The question is if the microphone's good.
Yeah, I have a hard time with my Xbox, but
I'm far away from the Xbox microphone. I think it's a bit harder for it.
yeah, but
And it won't pick up my wife's accent.
Oh, really?
We've tried. I mean, maybe it's a setting thing. Maybe it knows that to look for me or something. But yeah, Leah's tried it. It doesn't seem to listen to her.
Huh. Interesting. So yeah, I guess so. Microsoft's number one. I would have, if somebody asked me, guess who is number one, Apple, Microsoft, or Google in voice recognition. I actually would have guessed Google, but I was surprised. Microsoft's actually the best right now in terms of voice recognition. But remember, these are only specific words. These are not how the computer understands entire phrases. So the Microsoft still is working on context and understanding not just individual words, but how it all ties together. So I think it's pretty cool. We're making really good progress. I don't know, Sean, do you remember the first time you held up, I don't know what your first phone was with voice recognition, but the first time you tried that?
No. Now, my first voice recognition, it's going to get a little potty humor here. Sorry about this. I was a little kid. So I remember back in the day, my brother doesn't, well, honestly, I don't have great handwriting either. I don't mean to throw him under a bus or anything, but he doesn't have great handwriting. And we were trying to look into ways to take notes or whatever. And I think typing, I guess that would have been an option. But we thought maybe it would have been better to, maybe his handwriting wasn't tied in. I don't know what the reason we needed this was, but for some reason, we were trying dictation software, but it was, I think it was called Dragon software.
That's a popular one, yeah.
But this was back in like the 90s.
Ooh, wow.
Like I must have been under 10. And it was awful. You just say anything, I seemed to have no idea what you were saying. Now, that was probably a combination of microphones being worse back then, software was worse. We literally at one point just started laughing. And we actually farted into the microphone at some point, and it thought we said a word.
Huh.
So, it's absolutely ridiculous back then. So the fact that we're to a point now where voice recognition software is better than people typing or people transcribe, I think that, or similar to it, I think that's great. I had to try to transcribe parts of a phone call the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And when you don't have the luxury of being able to backspace, you just kind of have to type live. I had to go back and do a lot of corrections.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad typist. I mean, when I'm just typing out of my thoughts, I type very quickly. But when you're recording someone else, it's very difficult.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my first experience was my first phone, which was an Android phone. I got it in 2010, and back then one of the main features of Android was Google's voice search feature and dictation. So I was playing around and pretty impressed, and so I thought, okay, I'm gonna stump it. So I said Mary Poppins supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, thinking, yeah, there's just no way, just be funny. But sure enough, letter for letter, it wrote it all down. And of course,
I bet you that was a specific word.
It was, yeah.
They knew to look for.
Yep. So yeah, thinking about it's like, okay, the engineers probably put a lot of effort into that one to make sure that people trying to stump it would not be stumped.
I'm trying to. I don't think there's any word in the English language that starts with supercala.
No, that's a fake word. So they had to have programmed.
They probably just programmed in supercala, and they were like, done.
Yeah.
Done. Supercala.
Yep.
Done. Huge. Huge word. Huge.
You should run for president now.
That's me. That's me. No, I haven't upset enough people yet.
Oh. You haven't started your rant yet. That's why.
We got to be careful. I hear he's gonna clamp down on the libel laws. So who knows?
Wow. Oh man. So yeah, Microsoft's doing a great job with voice recognition. They just need to work on Xbox, and I'll be happy.
Do you have a hard time? Because do you have a worse time now than you did when it was just Xbox, like when it was Xbox on or whatever?
I do. I feel like Xbox. I mean, I still had a tough time back then, but when it was just Xbox, I feel like I had an easier time. But now that it's Hey Cortana or just Cortana, yeah, I feel like that's it doesn't understand me quite as well as it used to. I don't even know why, but yeah.
I don't know what it is. Seems a little worse than that for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you go on that one. Yeah, I don't know. I use voice control occasionally with the Xbox, but you know what we should talk about actually? I think this broke since last week. Is the rumors or the reports about what's going to be coming out with the Xbox changes to the design or the snapping and that sort of thing?
Okay.
I can go through it.
Snapping.
I'm trying to think here. Snapping changes. So basically at the moment, I think Xbox is a bit of a transition. They moved from the non-UWP model with these kind of legacy, old school apps. Like the YouTube app isn't a UWP app. If it was, then it would probably be on some other platforms. Yeah. And you had some of these things like snapping and snap mode.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Windows Central. I don't want to miscite, but I don't actually have it on me. It just kind of came up. But I think it was them that broke the news that apparently there are going to be some changes to the Xbox interface. Snapping could be going away, and we could be getting some sort of like overlay kind of on the right here. It would work a little bit differently than what it is now. We potentially saw bits of it when there was Beam overlaying like a feed where you could see Beam on the right, but it didn't scoot the app over, it didn't snap everything over. So there could be some changes on the way to that. And I don't know. I mean, to be completely honest, I think that the Xbox, I think snapping would be more natural with UWP coming because those are already scalable apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a bit odd to me to move away from snapping because, to me, that's very natural. It would almost look like the phone user interface.
Yeah.
But apparently we go away from it. So yeah, like I said, it was just Gordon over at Windows Central, and they said that. So there'll be some changes here. I don't know. You're not a big Xboxer here, but do you think that they should be moving away from these features that already exist, or how do you think they should mix some of these as they move forward?
I think they shouldn't. So the Xbox team feels like they love to remove features that people still use, and so I definitely don't think they should remove it. I don't personally use snapping myself. I would love to use it for like a picture-in-picture. So like I could watch.
And that's the proposal. Apparently, it could be a picture-in-picture setup.
Okay, so if they had that option to do it like that, then I would probably use it because I feel like when I'm watching a little video on the side, it takes up so much real estate, because the video doesn't take up the whole snap. It's just a little square at the top. So
yeah, so I guess a few more details here. According to their sources, it could be like they've only seen it in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, picture-in-picture style, but they think that it'll be likely able to move it around or even change the opacity, which makes sense because, if you were on a game that had like a map or elements or whatever on it, you wouldn't want something that just got completely, blacked out, obviously. So, yeah, we'll have to see there. I'm sure they'll do it in a smooth way. I don't know. Didn't they remove like Kinect gestures?
That was something I actually used, fairly
And
regularly.
are those gone now? I think those are gone with the Win.
I remember one time
I thought so.
I just started grabbing and I was like, why is my Xbox not responding? I was so confused. I thought something restarted it. And then I went onto the forums, and the dread of seeing that feature had been removed, it broke my heart.
Yeah, one of their commenters said that, they removed gestures as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that picture-in-picture could work. They have a concept out there that looks fine. I think it could be fine as long as it's implemented, and I'll be curious to see how this works. Developers are going to have to. It used to be kind of some of the apps that are on Xbox One right now, they're kind of like direct ports. You have to mouse around with like a joystick on your actual controller. You're not actually jumping between elements like you do in Groove Music on the Xbox. It doesn't really look great. It's not super smooth. Maybe this would force some of them to actually go in there and tinker around with the development code a bit more. I mean, I'd much rather have the app than not have the app, but some of those are pretty much just like straight ports. And I think maybe this could be a transition where they say, hey, look, this is another feature we could try out. Yeah. This could be very good. Picture-in-picture mode could be great. You could have TV in one corner while you had the game on the big screen.
Yeah, well, that was the whole purpose behind snapping. But it just never caught on like it was supposed to.
I guess I've always had this dream that I could like Skype my dad while he was in one corner, and then I have like the NFL there, which I could do now, I suppose, with Snap. But with picture-in-picture, could do it with like taking less real estate from one of the sides.
Yep, exactly. Absolutely. And what we need is volume controls on the Xbox controller itself.
You can say, hey Cortana, volume up, just so you know.
I do it all the time, but it gets annoying after a little bit.
Maybe you could get a Surface dial for your Xbox.
Oh, there you go.
Because the Surface dial, you can just do volume up and down, brightness up and down, all that type of stuff.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it would be interesting to do some sort of, maybe hook that up to your Xbox. But then they'd have to have an Xbox compatible Surface dial, and then to actually use that one on your PC, you would need a dongle that was actually like this big.
Oh yeah.
Because you ever seen the thing to connect the regular Xbox controller to a PC? It's huge.
Oh yeah. I love how like mouse and keyboard dongles are like miniature, like the size of a bean. And then, the Xbox wireless thing is
it's like the size of a pocket PC. I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing.
Fun stuff. What else do we have on here?
I'm trying to think.
I didn't hear about the snapping one. That's good.
Yeah, no, I just thought of that because we were talking about the Xbox. I think that broke since the last one. So there you go. Yeah, so it's I don't want to talk triple Xbox in a row. Some of our non-gaming fans are going to leave here. Let me just put it this way. Mario's not coming to Xbox, but man, wouldn't it be nice?
Mario okay. Phil Spencer.
No,
that's right.
Phil Spencer admitted. He said Nintendo have the best first-party games, and of course, he'd love their stuff to come to Xbox. But obviously, he's not saying it will, and it won't. Nintendo just announced a new console.
Yeah.
The only reason anyone buys Nintendo consoles is because they're first-party games.
Yep.
Like, think about it. Who's buying a Switch to do something other than play the first-party games? At least initially. Maybe some of those features might be cool. I mean, it is a portable console. I mean, that is nice, but I don't know.
So if Nintendo released Mario games or Nintendo games on the Xbox store, I would totally buy a bunch of them. So they would definitely be getting more money from me. However, I do know once my kids are old enough, which they're not quite, they're almost old enough to learn how to play, I am definitely getting a Nintendo console to play games with them because there's not enough kid games on the Xbox. So the question is, which way will Nintendo make more money? And it's probably holding out for people like me who will eventually cave and buy a Nintendo.
Well, I mean, we have both. We have a Wii U and an Xbox One, and I have a Nintendo 3DS or a new 3DS as well. They're terrible at naming consoles over at Nintendo. You have the new 3DS, and you can actually buy a new 3DS XL. That's a real thing.
Really?
That's a
Oh,
real
wow.
thing. There's also the 2DS, which can run the same games as the 3DS, but it'll run some of the newer games a bit slower. Like Pokemon Sun and Moon run a bit slower on the 3DS compared to the new 3DS, but they actually
Okay.
use the same game cartridges. So yeah,
Huh.
they're terrible at naming things. Wii U, Wii, it's just awful. But yeah, no, people are gonna buy a Switch. People are. I mean, I think if you have kids, what games are you gonna have your kids play on an Xbox One? Minecraft, maybe some racing games.
Yeah, there's a few Lego
Um,
games.
yeah, Lego Batman, Lego game. But I mean, the biggest titles that kids are gonna play when they're younger are on Nintendo, and then when they get to their teenage years, they're gonna switch over to the other stuff.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
You don't play a Nintendo Switch to get GTA 5, and you don't get an Xbox One to play Mario. That's just what it is right now.
That's right. That's right. It's a little sad, but yep, you're absolutely right.
I think that's what keeps Nintendo in business myself.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't have bought a 3DS if it wasn't for Pokemon. If I could have played Pokemon, and I understand they're emulators, but I'm not a big, I'm not a fan of those. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought a new 3DS. I wouldn't have bought a Wii U if Mario Kart was on Xbox,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then Super Smash Brothers and all them.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of Xbox news today.
yeah, there was a lot of Xbox news today. I figure out, and if we have any listeners left, they're probably very bored if they were here for
Well,
Windows 10 stuff.
there's 16 total.
Hi guys, I know you're at work. We appreciate it. Maybe at some point we'll move to a point where you guys are actually free to watch live. I'm trying to think here. How long do you think your demo will to
uh,
that?
if everything goes smoothly, it probably like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Why don't we? I'll just quickly say one thing.
All right.
Well, I'll ask you your question. For you with your Android phone,
Uh-huh.
because there was a new thing about a new sharing UI that could be coming to Windows 10. It looks a lot like a sharing tray that's on iOS, as one of the commenters pointed out. I find it tremendously easy to share things on Android. You hit share, there's a list of like a million apps you can share it with, and it just works fluidly.
Mhm.
And with Windows 10 Mobile, it just is certain apps it's fluid, it's not.
Yeah.
And there's I think I'm going to do this segment. It's been my love affair with Android. And part one is just sharing things, particularly between apps. It's just super seamless.
Yeah.
So if Windows 10 Mobile and Windows 10 are making a change to make it more seamless, where you jump in between apps and opening links in apps and that type of thing, that's great, because right now it's so much more natural for me to share things. You hit share, it opens up. You can easily click things. It just works so much more smoothly. Do you have a similar experience?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just yeah, when you hit share, it's like 2, 3 dozen things pop up, and you can share to almost any platform that you want to, right? Whereas on Windows, sometimes you hit share and it's only shared to OneNote.
Or it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just easier. Sometimes when I hit share and then you go there and the developer has built an interface for when I hit share, it open up WhatsApp or whatever, and it's just easier to do certain things. Just easier to select multiple people, or easier to select it. Just a little more natural. So I think I admit that the biggest thing holding Windows 10 Mobile back is because no one uses it, apps aren't developed, and because apps aren't developed, no one's using it. But it's not a very mature operating system, in my opinion, for a phone operating system.
Well,
They're just what I would. Sorry, go ahead.
It's old enough to be mature, right? So why do you think it's not? Why do you think it's not mature? Because it's been around for a while now.
I think certain parts of it are in development now that the Windows 10 team has a lot to do, especially on the mobile side, because they're also developing things like Continuum. How do you make the kernel similar? How do you make Continuum look like a desktop windowed experience? I mean, those are all the types of things that if they were just locked in a room to make it a better phone operating system, they'd probably be focusing their time on different things.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating, though. I mean, there are just times where I go to use Windows, and they're just the customized options. They either took a long time to get there, or they aren't there at all. It's not as open as I would like, and I can just get frustrated. So when you see something like a new sharing UI that might be on the way, I think it could be a big thing. And it looks very similar because someone did like a registry edit, and it looks a lot like what you get on Android, and I'm assuming iOS based on the commenter, where it just has all these different apps, and it's got a lot of different, and it just looks a lot more natural. So I sure hope that's what we're moving towards. Because to be completely honest, I think that's an area that needs a lot of improvement on Windows.
Absolutely, yeah. People, I mean, that's what drives our modern internet culture, right? It's the ability to share, information and websites, and having stuff go viral, and yeah.
I mean, maybe part of it is, it could just be bias. I'm not trying to be like a fanboy or anything. I don't know. That's why I wanted your opinion as well. I feel like it's easier to share stuff on Android.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It definitely is, a little bit more clunky to share on Windows for sure. Yeah.
Look at all these options. Look at them.
That's what I was saying. All the dozens of options with Windows.
Look at all and there's apps that they don't even have, don't even exist. Just so easy.
But
and it doesn't cut off.
In Windows 8, so things were actually a lot easier to share in Windows 8 and 8.1, where you could just swipe from the side, and there was a charm dedicated to sharing. There was a share charm, right? And now, like, if I go into my task bar, or what is it called? The charm. I don't even know what this is called.
Action and Notification Center.
There's no share button anymore. So yeah. I'm a little bit sad about that.
Yeah, so there's that. Oh, well, so there's my rants. My love affair with Android Part 1, sharing things.
Yeah, I think Microsoft could still do a lot more with Windows Mobile, make it a little bit better.
I mean, they're not going to get rid of it, so they might as well make it perfect.
Yep, that's right. So I'm setting up the HoloLens right now for the demo. So this is hot off the press. Brand new apps. This is Bing Maps for the HoloLens. It's actually it's not called Bing Maps. Is it called HoloMaps? What is it actually called? Let me check the names. HoloMaps. Okay. It's really actually cool. It's basically the Bing 3D maps, but for mixed reality. So let me see if I can get it to show up on the live stream here. And we go and make this a little bit bigger. Have it fill up my room.
I'm always so impressed by these HoloLens demonstrations.
So do you see the map, Sean? I just made the city a little bit bigger. This is actually downtown Seattle, what you're looking at right now. So I can actually walk around and take a closer look at some of these buildings, and I can actually like look into it, look in between on the streets. I can use my finger to kind of drag, so you can see what it looks like when I drag. There you go. So I can drag it and kind of look at the city, look at the street. And then I can go to other parts of the world that have the 3D maps as well. And if there's no 3D maps, then what I can do is it'll just show a 2D map for any areas that don't have any 3D maps. Zoom in and zoom out. So that's pretty much the demo. That's pretty much what I wanted to show. This is really cool. It's like having a real map, either on your table or on your floor, but with 3D buildings, and when you can see. I don't know. To me, this is what digital maps should be, right? It's not just something on your screen, but something that
you know what this would be great for, Sean? Well, there's many applications. Transportation guidelines, seeing where your Uber is or something like that. But then also, man, video games. Imagine it's like a real world map, but it's just right there.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice. There's so many different implementations for something like this. It's just really incredible to see just what this can do.
Yep, absolutely. So that was pretty much the demo. Bing Maps on the HoloLens. A lot we can look forward to in the future.
I really like where HoloLens is going. I hope developers just jump all over this, because I really think that what Microsoft has built hardware-wise is just so incredible, and software-wise as well, so incredible. And I'm just beginning to tap the surface on what we could do with the HoloLens. So I think it's great to combine all the mapping and scanning technologies are doing with this what we have now.
Yep, absolutely.
You can just went there and you just drew around, and then they're like, yeah, I'd like to go to work that way. They were like, all right, we sent directions to your phone.
Yeah, I can't wait to the day when this technology is integrated into our daily lives. It's not just a device that a select few people have that's big and clunky and limited, but it's something that we all wear mixed reality glasses all the time, and we can see each other.
Someday, Sean. Someday, mixed reality contacts.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that day.
All right, then. Well, I guess we'll wrap up the show then. This has been Talk Microsoft, episode 5. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. And you can find Sean Ung on Twitter
at Sean_Ong.
Also, check out his YouTube channel for different tips and tricks with all sorts of Windows devices and Surfaces and HoloLenses. And check out On Microsoft. This is the official podcast, I suppose, of On Microsoft, right? So there you go. So check out On Microsoft for all your latest Microsoft Windows-related news, all sorts of Windows 10 stuff. If it breaks, we do our best to be right on it there and do so on the podcast here as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.